The entrepreneur's trap. Are you falling in it like me? Today's topic is really kind of personally developing me to pay attention to what I'm doing and what I'm teaching, not just what I say and I know that we should do. This is a convoluted way of talking and starting, but are you tracking in your business? That's what this is all about. What are we measuring? What are we looking at? How are we judging our business and our own performance and behavior and outcomes? This month we're focusing, welcome to day 203 of the Supersize Your Business Annual Challenge. All this month we're focusing on contribution. How do we impact and interact with the world around us? And a lot of us have been taught, me included, and I still teach it. And my painful confession part of this is I just made myself my own new dashboard or tracking system Sunday. And the first three things on it all fall into this trap. Now, I know they fall into this trap because we look at outcomes or we look at things we can measure. For example, I have my videos, creating my 3 videos a day, content, 100 DMs, direct messages, focusing on LinkedIn, and then sales calls. And all 3 of those are things that are outputs. They're things that I do. And I like to measure those, not because I want to look at my productivity, but because I want to know that I'm putting in the work to get the results that I know I will. Now, for me personally, I should probably be doing 300 of each of those things, not just 100, but we only have limited time and energy. So my question for you today is, are you measuring things only like that are outputs for you and the people in your organization, or are you looking at the impact of the actions that they take? I think we need to do both. We need to run our businesses efficiently and effectively, which I'm all about. We need to look at what are we putting into it in terms of measures, but also we need to capture and pay attention to the impact that we're having on the world around us, on our communities, on other people's lives. And we need to be capturing those as well. I do that by journaling, but I've never actually consciously thought about keeping track of it for my businesses, right? And I think that it's important that we do. Now, output is what your business produces. The impact of that output is what makes the world a better place or does not. The metrics that we use that matter most to us, they can't. When it comes to impact, how do you measure that? You cannot measure lives change. I guess you could collect them, but you still only know the tip of the iceberg. There's no real way to measure the impact of sending thank you notes to people and telling them that you appreciate them, whether it's, digitally or actually through the real live mail. Want to make an impact on somebody's life? Go back to being old school and actually send somebody a physical thank you note through the mail. So I loved that. Who doesn't love getting those? That's what part of my awesomeness file has in it. I capture things like that I have what I call an awesomeness file. So whenever business gets heavy, and I don't know about you, but usually once a day, but I don't look in there once a day. But every once in a while, I need to go back and revisit some of the things that I have had an impact on. And most of the things in that file are impact, right? They're things that were the result of the things that I did, not measuring the things that I did. So what do I mean by this? And I will say I fall into this trap too. If you're a creator and you create things, or if you have a business, you look at profit, cash flow. You got to look at that. I'm not going to lie. But what is making a profit and cash flow doing for you and your company to make the world a better place? And are you? That's what this whole month is about. Are we doing something beyond ourselves to create a legacy and make a real difference in the world? Or are we just chasing the almighty dollar? And if that's you, you probably don't want to listen to me either. So chasing output metrics will lead to burnout. How do I know? I was doing that ad nauseum back in 2010 when I had a sudden cardiac arrest. Now, that wasn't the only factor. Let's be honest. About 5 areas of the 9 life framework were blown up and out of control for me personally, which was a huge lesson. But part of that was building my businesses and chasing my businesses, being involved, probably too involved in too many businesses. Anybody else ever been the bottleneck in their own business? I found that whenever there's a problem or a challenge in any of my businesses, if I look inside in some way, shape, or form, I am the root cause of that. Another real life slap in the face. So today, what are we going to do about this? Now, most of us want to be fulfilled in our business, right? We don't want to have burnout. This is to remind me that we are talking and starting the super framework today. If I don't put it on my lap, I will forget about it. I'm going to sneak a drink of coffee. So I guess I've told a couple of stories about this already, so I'm not going to share another one, but I could share that I actually track, and the things I personally track are the number of videos I make, right? And mostly I track them so I can keep track of if I have to find one or I want to share one with somebody. But that's a number I actually track. That is 100% output. Now, what I should be tracking is what is the impact of those videos and me making that content on the people that view it, on the people's lives. Instead of looking at number of views and likes and comments, why am I not looking at, well, and I am, but why am I not really focusing on the impact that those have and trying to make them better? Which I am trying to make them better. I know it's hard to tell, but I'm working on a new format that YouTube actually says, this is what you need to do format-wise. And it's like a 10-step thing. And being legally blind, I can't see my notes. Like, I keep notes on it, but I can't see them anyway. So it's kind of like an exercise in futility. But what I'm going to do is just line them up and put the headings so I can start getting in the habit of presenting my material in that format. Why? Because it will have a bigger impact and get better results. So let's quick talk about the S in our super framework. S stands for specify target, which is why I like this to symbolize that. Hit the spot, or bullseye is the center of the target. So we need to know what that target is. What are we shooting for? What are we aiming for? So your action item today is twofold. Number one, are you in any way, shape, or form tracking the impact of the inputs and the outputs that your company produces? And number two, what is the contribution area that you're going to focus on, a goal for the end of the year, by the end of the year, and specify that. What is the target for that? What do you want? All right, that's it. If I can help you in any way, hit me up and ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.